welcome to the video manual for the Rise and Shine. A 3-in-1 pedal that combines vintage fuzz tones ranging from light distortion through to a fully saturated warm fuzz. A classic Octave Up Fuzz, synonymous with players like Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Vaughan, and Jack White, to name a few. And finally, a unique tremolo effect that pulses between standard and octave fuzz. As if that wasn't enough, this Octapulse effect can be manipulated however you like to complement your style, including odd time signatures. I'll be showing you how to create this effect and use the Rise and Shine's 5 operation modes later on in the video. So now, let's start by taking a look at the basic controls of the Rise and Shine, first with a quick rundown of the 5 operation modes this pedal has to offer and what they are. Orange, standard fuzz and selectable analog octave up fuzz. Green, momentary octave fuzz. CYAN, momentary bypass. Magenta, standard division Octapulse tremolo with momentary capability. And white, custom division Octapulse tremolo, allowing users to tap in your own divisions including odd time signatures. When the LED buttons are bright, that setting is engaged, and when the LED buttons are dim, that setting is bypassed. Moving on to the control knobs, the mix dial allows you to control and blend the incoming signal with the Rise and Shine's effect, particularly useful for bass. A full turn to the right results in a completely clean signal. A full left turn is 100% Rise and Shine. And everything in between. Volume increases and decreases the master volume of the pedal. Tone changes the high and low pass ratios of the treble and bass response. Fuzz controls the amount of saturation in your fuzz tone. All the way to the left is a light distortion. And all the way to the right is a fully saturated fuzz. The LEDs also double up as selector buttons. The voice button changes between 2 different tonal options for the Rise and Shine's fuzz and octave. For a brighter tone, choose orange. For a fatter fuzz and octave, choose blue. The mode button cycles through the 5 operation modes with each press. Now let's look at the orange mode. For this manual, all sounds you hear are recorded through our SD50 valve amp head on a completely clean setting with all EQs set flat. This feeds a Fein FX70 12-inch speaker housed in a Grossman isolated cab and captured by a Shure SM57. Now that you have a better understanding of the functionality of the Rise and Shine, let's dial in a tone and run through all the modes and voices the Rise and Shine has to offer. Here is the orange mode with these new dialed in settings. And with the octave engaged. Now let's change the voicing. And with the octave. Moving on to the green mode, this operation allows you to use the octave foot switch in momentary function, meaning the octave is engaged or disengaged whilst the foot switch is suppressed. Here's an example of this function in use. And again with the other voicing. Just so you know, you can change the polarity of the momentary function. Just hold the mode button for half a second and it will switch. Hold it again to switch it back. Next up is CYAN mode. This operation allows you to use the bypass foot switch in momentary function. This means that the pedal is either engaged or disengaged when your foot switch is suppressed. Here's another example of this function in use. As with green mode, to change the polarity of the function, just hold the mode button for half a second and it will switch. And again, hold it for half a second and it will switch back. Moving on to magenta mode, this allows you to select different standard divisions of the Octapulse Tremolo Vibrato effect. Hold the mode button to cycle through whole, half, triplet, and quarter note divisions. Then tap the voice button to set the tempo. You can enable and disable momentary octapulse by holding down the voice button for 3 seconds. Or, if you have an external foot switch, you can hold that pressed for 3 seconds to enable or disable the momentary function. Whilst in magenta mode and when you aren't playing anything or the last note that you played has rung out, you may hear the octapulse effect producing a synth-like click, depending on your settings. If you like, you can activate a gate that will stop this from happening by holding down the bypass foot switch for 3 seconds, and you can deactivate it again by holding down that bypass foot switch again for 3 seconds. You can also control the pulse tempo with any external expression pedal. Last but by no means least, white mode, which allows you to tap in your own custom division which is perfect for custom beats and odd time signatures. To start recording your custom division, press and hold the mode button, which will turn red when it's ready to record. While still holding the mode button, tap in your custom rhythm, and when you're done, release the mode button. It's worth noting that the recording stops on the release of the mode button and aligns to the closest whole beat. Now that you've tapped in and recorded your custom rhythm, you can now set the tempo by either tapping the voice button, an external foot switch, or, as with magenta mode, use an expression pedal to speed and slow the tempo. To clear your recording, press and hold the mode button for 3 seconds, which will reset the pulse back to a standard 120 BPM.